I'm gonna do a little live check. I'm gonna do a little live check on the YouTube real quick, man, just to make sure
Right.
people will go. Yeah, cause that's that link. I want your people to be able to, tune in. Hey Q, I can't see the comments on this joint, so if you see some comments, but if you on that joint, bro, you know what I'm saying? Let me know.
You want me to be watching on my end for
Yeah,
comments?
yeah, yeah. Check the
All right, bet.
comments, bro, cause I can't on this joint. I can't see
Yeah, let
the
me see.
comments, so I want to be able
Hold
to
on.
see.
I'm finna get the iPad
Is it live?
so
Or
that
I'm
way
gonna
I
get the
can.
tablet. She gonna get the tablet. I'm gonna get the tablet, so I have it just so I can see. But yeah, everybody, give us a second, man. We can get ready to start the live up for y'all. Give us 1 second, man. We want to make sure we can see the comments and everything for y'all, man. Get it, brother. It's right
Wow,
there.
brother. Wow.
Sure. Okay, yeah, bet. All right, we live here. We're talking to town, man. We got Q tonight filling in for Bucks. Kind of just gonna be moderating, just cause we got another person in here, and we want to the conversation just in case the conversation get a little away from us. So we want to definitely have somebody in here playing that role. Give us a little rundown of who you are, Nuri. Is it El-NURI or what do you want me to call you, brother?
We could just do Nuri. L is just for the, the Nuri, the light, because Nuri means light.
Okay.
From New York, from Brooklyn, New York. Came down south, North Carolina now. I've been out here for like 15 years, you know what I mean? So for me, man, like this whole consciousness thing, that wasn't always around now. I've always been someone that debated and challenged, especially like the Bible and the church. When I was younger, my mom would say she'll get annoyed, like she'll try to hide the Bible from me. Because I'll be in that shit, looking up stuff and questioning shit. Because I'm gonna be real with you, the idea, what was presented to me first was this white image of a savior, this white man that he called Jesus. And that didn't sit well with me. I didn't like the idea of just white man as my savior here. So I wanted to do more research and dive deep. And it's just honestly, when I looked into the church when I was young, there were things that I would hear or things that I would see, even, there'll be gossips, there'll be beef. And I'm like, I get confused. I'm like, but this doesn't align with what I'm reading. If this shit is true, then it seems like y'all have some contradiction here. Right, so it all began with there, and then within there, then I had my grandparents put me on to the ancient history of Nag Hammadi library, ancient texts, older religions, African history, and that just started. That was just the foundation. Honestly, the real awakening really didn't start to like 2016. You know what I mean? Right, we in the cusp of the Trayvon Martin, Eric Gardner, Sandra Bland. You know what I mean? And with that, not only was a revolutionary start, like the whole Black Lives Matter movement started, but a consciousness movement started as well, right? So that was starting to link up with people that were calling themselves shamans and mystics, and we started having different conversations about, manifestation and changing your reality and stuff like that, and entering what does it mean to entering different dimensions and just things blow my mind and I never heard about before, right? So it's just diving deeper into the rabbit hole to just come to this place of understanding the nature of reality, how it works out, why things happen the way they are. What is this whole coincidence thing? Because is it really coincidence or is it synchronicity? And why does synchronicity happen? What allows it to happen, right? Because it's like you can't just tell me, oh, law of attraction. You think positive, it's gonna manifest in your life. Okay, but how? That sounds cute, but how? You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah, laying on your back and just hoping and praying is not gonna really get you far. I mean, I understand the concept of that. I definitely get that concept. Since you just because you mentioned it, the conscious thing. I noticed you do music. How do you juggle the line between being political or conscious in your music and also trying to make music that's friendly for the listener and appealable to the masses?
Perfect. Well, I believe in the law of polarity, meaning that all must exist, the highs and the lows, the cold and the hot, the negative and the positive, right? And for me, I find myself wanting to embody that meaning of polarity within myself. So I have the music where I can embrace different parts of myself and it still exists, but I can also not allow it to affect the other lighter side of myself that's more into the community and the building, and also find a way to be able to put certain things in my music so where it's like you catch some shit in there, but it's not too preachy. I never wanted to be preachy, and plus hip hop was my foundation before I even started getting into the whole consciousness thing. It's my foundation. That's why you got people like Mace. Mace became a pastor, but you see he went back to hip hop. You saw with Clips. You know what I mean? But bro, I think he started to get deeper into Christianity.
Yeah, he was. I think he was preaching as well. Yeah, he was preaching as well.
But he came back, right? Because what did they find out? You don't have to exit or eliminate one part of yourself just to have another part of yourself exist.
Oh,
you
that makes sense.
You can still have polarities, both poles within you, and still be one whole being.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely, because I'm not gonna say I'm fully woke or nothing, but I'm conscious, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm gonna say I'm conscious, so I try to even, it's hard to juggle that line. Like I be up here, I try to give people information. I don't want to be sounding like a dummy in every song, you know what I'm saying? And I'm up here trying to push a message, you feel me?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just hard for me to find that balance, because the music state is kind of, man, it's trashy, you know what I'm saying? Is what hip hop is not really rap no more. You know what I'm saying? I think that line is being almost eliminated. You know what I mean?
Right, it has. It's right, because it's like it's the idea of, if I'm conscious or I speak this way, then I'm gonna be preaching.
Right.
And I don't want to bore people, and that makes sense. Like we want our fans, right?
Right.
So it's like, how do we juggle it, right? So I feel like it's just a way of you have to be witty. It's like when I said this one verse, I was like, swimming in the rivers with Leviathan, the devil was my neck, because I'm God's son, find him in the temples of the Buddhists, praying in the mosque while he executes the Judas. You liar, you can never peek on the Messiah. You can never reach me while I'm higher. Butchering these preachers, bringing nostalgia, false prophets. So you see how I get greedy while still talking some shit. So I'm like a butchering these preachers, but I'm still talking on some like, okay, wait, he was swimming in rivers with Leviathan, the devil was my neck. Wait, what are you talking about there? So that I give you different dimensions to look at, right? Yeah. So it's about being able to be conscious, but also be witty at the same time, and also have some shit. Say it in a way. It's all about language. How do we say this shit? How do we express it? You know what I mean? Without being a KRS-One, right? Shout out to KRS.
Right.
But that's what we want to avoid, a lot of us, right? But
yeah, I mean, it's hard to break down barriers as an indie artist in that lane. You know what I'm saying? In that, locking yourself in that lane. You know what I'm saying? If you lock yourself in that box, kind of. You know what I mean?
I think Nas is a good example.
See, it's crazy because Nas started out as like my favorite rapper, right? And then like I seen what Jay-Z was able to do, and I wish that Nas was able to put it in that box that Jay-Z was able to put it in. You know what I mean? That was my biggest problem. You know what I mean?
We thought that Nas would have been what Jay. That's what back then you thought.
Right.
Especially after, because I mean, Nas was right when that thing was like, yo, all you do is talk about these women, like you hate that. He was really calling him out on some shit, and what Jay-Z did, he took a step back. He said, I see what's going on, but I just want to stay in this lyrical ring. Let me see what's going on the outside too. Let me get on the business scale of this shit, because I want to be a different type of boss. I was trying to just be a lyrical boss, but damn, this nigga came through and you got that nigga, but I'm about to control. And then what, he signed him. He signed Nas.
Right. Which was like the ultimate diss to me. Like, as far as if I'm Jay-Z, you know what I'm saying? If as history goes, it's gonna be like, how y'all comparing me to the dude that came to me to get on the stage? You know what I'm saying? And that's just, you know what I mean? That's the ego of rap. You know what I'm saying? That's me speaking as a rapper. You know what I'm saying? I get Jay-Z being like, man, shit, I'm him. You know what I'm saying? You know, but just to switch gears a little bit, me and Q talk about BLM, and I hear you mention it, man. And my question is for somebody who I've done a little research on it, and a lot of the people that was a part of that movement end up almost being scammers to me. You know what I'm saying? And how do you feel about, championing a movement that is almost, if you do champion it, I don't know if you do, but how do you feel that hurts or hinders us as a race?
Oh, I love that question. Because here's the thing, when you dress up anything as an aesthetic, whether it's BLM, spirituality, consciousness, the reason why it's detrimental to the whole society, because when you get caught and you get found out, now anybody that represents that image gets associated with that scam identity, or you're a fraud. Now we gotta look at you a certain way. It's like how you got people talking about Grand Rise and this is a toxic, you toxic girls, a toxic niggas. But when you look at the background of the shit, it's a good meaning. It's good. It's a good translation. But the thing is a lot of people with like BLM, to keep it on there, a lot of people dressed it up when it was convenient. It was like, okay. And then I believe that it was organized by some other people that wasn't black. You know what I mean? But there was some people, other races that was also involved that had an agenda. right? Because you have to understand what I've realized from Edward Bernays, who was the father of propaganda, right? He's one of the people that got them out there. Him and this other girl named Sandra got women out there smoking cigarettes, right? He just to show independence when it was like a thing that it shouldn't be done. I think it was like a army march, a military march, and they was smoking cigarettes, some kind of parade. He also encouraged a lot of other things, a lot of propaganda. When you study him, you see that wow, we have this routine of getting the people riled up just to see what'll happen, just to enforce new laws, right? Get them riled up, persuade them here and there. Just to, it's funny. They did this a while ago. They did this test where they acted like aliens was invading the planet. They didn't tell people that they was actually playing a movie skit. It was just on the radio before we even had understanding of computers and shit like that. So people panicked. They just wanted to see how people was going to panic. See, these people do drills just to get society on this level of consciousness, to get us all talking on one thing, so they could start impacting different laws, so they could play around with the energy level to see how it affects this, how it affects that, So when I think about that Black Lives Matter, I think it was a very well but yet poor execution of a revolution that represents our people. Because it was great. It was well because it got the attention at first. It got people talking. Even to this day, we're discussing it, right? But it failed because it got found out. But also, the failure is in the fact that now it's like you have a lot of people that's scared of what COINTELPRO stopped the rise of the Black Messiah. Well, you got Black people afraid to be that Black Messiah because it's like, damn, I don't want people to think I'm afraid. Oh, I don't want to get killed. People might not take me serious. How am I really going to get it done?
Right. No, good point. You got bro, you got so many different things you like I've picked up on as far as what you got going on. How do you feel like as far as us as Black people, why we're stuck in this lower frequency? Why do you think that we're stuck operating? Because I know you're big on frequency, and that's what I picked up. Why do you think that we're stuck operating this way, and we're not able to pick up like other cultures are?
You're going to be what you consume, like the whole idea, you are what you eat, right? So a lot of us, you got to look at what we're consuming through the media, the TV shows, the type of music, the type of conversations. Look at the gender war. Most of our conversations is why we're doing this, or why these women like this, or why men like that. See, these things are what keep us in that lower frequency. It's the conversations that we're having. We're not having everyday conversations, or even not every day, but the main topic be how do we elevate? How do we create this new invention? What about the next great thinkers? Who wants to be the Max Plancks of today, the Marcus Aurelius of today, right? The Nikola Teslas of today, right? So the things that's keeping us there is our conversations, is the food that we're eating, low vibrational food, the water we're drinking dead water, the water that comes from pipes. The water is naturally supposed to be spinning to stay alive. When you're just going straight through the pipe, it's might as well call dead water, loses all its memory, and that's what we're consuming. Then we have the conversations, again, the things that we're talking about is either continuously bringing us stress, agony, regret, some form of pain, some form of just hypertension. We get anxiety. We have traumas that we haven't healed from, that we keep accumulating from, especially with relationships, when we go from one relationship to the next one, to the next one, to the next one, instead of taking time to heal until we get to the process of, to the time that we're so fucking damaged that we're looking for a place to heal, where it's hard at that point without the assistance, because many of us push so many people away, or again, we don't know who to trust. Because how many people have been exposed to be frauds or just doing things just to get money from somebody. So we have a trust issue. We have a trust issue for trust with people outside of ourselves. Though many of us, when we see a white face or an Asian face, we liable to trust more. I think that's kind of dying a little bit too. I think it's just in general, but mostly in our community, Black, we really have this problem with trusting each other. We have this problem, this issue of constant ego battles, dick swinging battles of who's better, who's going to conquer who is the tribal chief, right? So it's all of that rather than true unity. Then when we talk about unity, most of it comes from selfishness. How does it benefit me? How can I connect with this person in order to help me? Rather, more so than we think of how it's going to help them because we want to stay alive. Now, I get it. When you're in an airplane, they say if the shit comes down, save yourself first. That makes sense. But you save yourself and you make sure you're right, and you're structured right, so you can able to help the other person, not just leave that person behind, or like now, oh, you're just my student, rather than I'll help you be a leader too. So we want to be leaders with a whole bunch of students rather than be leaders with a whole bunch of other leaders. Well, we other races are having no problem with also being other leaders. You know what I mean? Just, you know what I mean? So, and the family diaspora is really fucked up. A lot of us carry on old family values that no longer work anymore, family traditions that no longer work. A lot of us have disconnected from our families because a lot of people from the older generation have a problem dealing with the new generation. There's times when I had to talk to my mother the other day when she was like, talking about my daughter, right? So like, she's so emotional. Why so emotional? I'm like, I didn't raise you like that. I said, one, mom, we gotta understand we're in a different day and age. Right now, honestly, the energy in the universe is more emotional. We're pushing more into feeling things, right? A lot of people are feeling things on purpose. It's not by accident. We just don't know how to deal with it, or people's not helping us deal with it in a healthy way. But most of human beings on this planet are more sensitive now. Right. So just understanding how to deal with it. And I also had to make her realize, like, you have to think about, you had your own extreme. See, people forget that with the things that they do, because then they'll see somebody else doing it. And honestly, we hate most thing that we hate is the things that we do ourselves, but nobody checked us on it.
Right.
But we really hate it. So when we
hypersensitive. I noticed that people are hypersensitive. Like nobody can be checked per se. You know what I'm saying? Nobody has. If you're checking somebody, you're trolling them. You know what I'm saying? Or you're dissing them or trying to discredit them. Appreciate that too, Q. Damn, I see that light. Appreciate that, bro.
Oh yeah. But, it's about receiving. We have to be able to receive, and we have to be able to give in a healthy manner.
Right. Do you feel like it's a problem that is systemic? By that I mean like a system that was just meant to hurt us, or is it just internal, like something that we can fix?
We can fix it.
What do you think the steps are? Because I'm not trying to be funny when I say this. I went down what you call a rabbit hole for a little while myself. So it's kind of like what I noticed over and over again was a lot of, I hate to say this, a lot of talk and content and not a lot of actual real life things that we can do today. You know what I'm saying? Not if the government, not if the white man, not if, what can we do to help ourselves? What do you think that looks like?
Gotcha. That's exactly what I speak about in my book. The things that you can do. It's not about
we can get into
outside
that.
of you.
We can get into
right?
the book. Give us a little bit about the book.
So, like you're saying, like, what are the steps? I think the first step is acceptance.
Okay.
We have to accept our own accountability for the things that's going on in our reality. We have to stop blaming God, we have to stop thanking God for everything and blame for every good thing and blaming the devil for every bad thing. We have to accept our decisions. The consequences come from our decisions, whether it be good or bad. When we're able to take accountability, both men and women, we can go to the next step. The next step is having the conversation. Because when we have the accountability first, we'll be able to accept what we do. Because if you can't accept what you do, that's when you get the constant rebuttal and the constant debates and the constant, I can't take what you're trying to give me, right? That's why you got to have the acceptance first. Then we have the conversation. We have the conversation, and after the conversation, we enact on the actions of fixing what has been going on traditionally. How do we change tradition? Well, we change tradition by just letting go. It's as simple as letting go old beliefs and saying, you don't work for me no more. You just simply don't work for me no more. I don't want you a part of my reality. Get the fuck out. Kick it out the door. You're not like us, right? You're not like the version of us that we want to be. We want to be more community. We want to be more unified. We want to be more successful, right? We want to be able to be enjoying our life, right? Rather than, such the other day in my old town I used to live in, somebody died from a shooting, right? A cool ass person. I remember last time we were smoking, chilling, just talking about life, had me laughing all day. I'm seeing many posts of people talking about the same thing, how they had them laughing and just dope spirit, but caught up in the wrong situation, caught up in the wrong cycles, right? Only because we think these cycles have to continuously exist. Like how you can make it somewhere, you tell your niggas in the hood, yo, come with me. Yo, bro, I believe in this shit. But them niggas been seeing fucking the money a certain way their whole life. Sure. They ain't trying to hear nothing else. Right. They know the block. The block been feeding them per se. Yeah. You know what I mean? They can't see the other side. And they only know is shit, I might die at 25 or less, but shit, at least. But that's the tradition. That's my uncle, cousin, and Ray, and Joe, and all them shit. You know what I mean? I'm just here till I'm not here, nigga. But we got to get out of that idea. You know what I mean? and understand
No,
what
for
that
sure. Now, for sure. And because you're a little bit younger, how are you? How's your message being received amongst people your age, man? How are they taking that? Like, because I seen you get a little bit of backlash in the comments sometimes because you got a strong message. Is that something that people are receiving well, or you
it's
having
not
a
common
hard
though.
time?
I don't the negative, believe it or not, the negativity is not common. I get even so-called pastors have acknowledged the things that I've said, but they've even said I can't change my narrative because that'll fuck up my congregation. I'm like, cool, yeah, I get the business is business, but you know what I mean? I know that shit's just only gonna last for a certain amount of time. You
Right.
have people who they'll you have people who try to debate me, but the things that I'm talking about is not coming from emotion. It's coming from history. It's coming from facts. It's coming from things that we can prove it in existence in real time, right? And it's formulas that we just got to look at routine. You know, like check the Carfax. All we got to
Right.
do is check the Carfax, check the history, and we can see how things just not line up. You know what I mean? So just certain things are just not debatable. Just some people will get emotional, and that's fine. We understand that, right? Because you're trying to break a barrier in them that they've been having that's been keeping them so comfortable for a lifetime, right?
Right.
That their grandma knew, that their mama knew, pappy knew, and all that stuff, right? You're trying to break a tradition. That's not easy, right? It's like
Right.
somebody that's known a cage to be their home their whole life, and the person that's been keeping them in the cage since they've been born, been feeding them, talking them, teaching them. You're trying to drag them out the cage and let them know you're locked up, you're a slave, you're a prisoner. They wasn't
Right.
from birth. They wasn't taught that they was a prisoner, so they're going to be holding on to that cage. You're
Yep.
trying to free them. You try to hurt them, kidnap them, and take them someplace they don't need to be. So that's the
Right.
thing that we're dealing with. And honestly, it's still out there, but the pushback is getting less because I am shifting from that reality where most people that do the pushback exist. Where I'm
Got you.
shifting more so into a reality where the people who are aligned with my way of thinking are, and I'm having those conversations as well.
Got you. Got you. Just because you spoke on history, like I said, I went through the rabbit hole and there's some things. Some people asked me about. My pops was asking about. Do you feel like we've had a misconception of our history as Black people, or are we aware that our true history as like actually being kings, queens, and actually having these beautiful civilizations all over the world? I mean, do you think that, or do you feel like the history books have kind of watered that down? Where do you stand with our history? How does that apply to us today? Is it
Two things. One, I'll say Egypt is only 2% discovered, and we think we know a lot about Egypt. There's a whole lot of information. It's only 2%. Seeing that fact right there alone shows that there's so much that we don't know. There's so much that hasn't been discovered. There's so much that's still being uncovered. There's so many tombs, and there's books. There was libraries that were destroyed, like the Library of Alexandria. So there's so many things that we don't know. There's a lot of puzzles that was try to put together. I do believe, however, and this is facts. That history was structured and reorganized and retold just to fit a certain narrative and keep us out of the picture. I believe that's a fact as well. However, I also believe that we've exaggerated our own history as well too, because we looked and we saw kings and queens, and now everybody was a king and queen, but not everybody. It was certain royal bloodlines. Not everybody was a fucking king and queen, so we have to understand. That's why it's important to understand who you are, and it's like who you are today, like who you naturally, your energetic field just radiates in being today, how people take you, how you take yourself. It could tell you a lot of where you come from. It really can. You know what I mean? Some of our people were jesters. Some of our people were just workers, tillers. Some of our people come from a bloodline of just farmers, of just travelers. Some of our people may have come from a bloodline of pirates. Like there's so many, and some of our people have come from a bloodline of kings and queens, but not as much people as they want to exaggerate. It's not that huge. You know what I
right?
mean?
Right.
However, we do have a strong blood. However, we do have something within us that is very powerful. However, that melanin is very strong. However, that if we choose to really tap into our inner being, our inner power, then there's no limitation to what we can do. And then, I mean, even when you look at the Bible, I'm not a Christian, but we look at the Bible and we look at the Tower of Babel. we say, yeah, God destroyed the Tower of Babel and he separated the languages. When you look at why, there was no other reason why besides the fact that God said, yo, he with his people. He's like, yo, you see these niggas? They on some shit. And if they continue to go, they going to be on some other shit. And they might be like on some our shit. So I don't know about that. How about we just separate them and go there, go there, and we confuse their languages and shit? Because they tapping into some shit and they powerful. That's literally what he said. That was literally something. That was so. If that don't tell you anything, you know what I mean. That so it's really like I feel like we exaggerated it, and we really need to just connect with who we are energetically, who we are, and then just look at your own, and then look at your own bloodline. Like, go to your ancestry. You know what I mean? If you could talk to your grandparents and try to go back as far as you can, look at where your people come from. Go back to that. Then look at the tribe you may have come from, right? Some people will say they're Indians, or what Indian tribe you're from, or what African tribe you may have been from. Then look at the history of that tribe. And that's going to help you understand as far as back as we are allowed to go based off the information that's available.
Right. Yeah, no, for sure. I think it's definitely important. I'm glad you preach people kind of investigate. And I think we got to a point in life where we take all information for face value. You know what I'm saying? And we don't really do our due diligence and kind of say, all right, is this good information or is it bad? You know what I mean? Going down this rabbit hole, how do you navigate what's good information to be received and what's kind of bad? Because in this information age, this internet, man, can say anything. It could basically make any lie true.
Intuition, my intuition skills is based on your own intuition skills. My shit is fucking crazy, like the spider sense. Literally, my intuition has never failed me, so I trust it. I trust in myself. I trust in my own radar. So we're using my own radar. I detect what's for me and what's not for me. That's why I've avoided a lot of situations that most people have found themselves in. That's why in my relationships, I've never dealt with a woman that used me. I don't know what that's like. I know what it looks like, and I know how it could have potentially happened with some people, but I didn't allow those things to continue, right? Or they themselves understood my energy and knew not to try that bullshit over here, and they didn't bring that to me, right? So just because of how I can just detect shit, and I just trust where my pull, like you feel a pull. Like, you know what I mean? When you really like mindful of yourself, when things happen, it won't be coincidences anymore. You'll literally understand it. You'll literally think of a face or think of a name, and then you'll hear it or you'll see it. Or you'll have a feeling of something happening, and it will happen, right? So just based off the energetic field that you're tapping in with your own, right? So that's just what I do. I really just use the antenna, and that's what helps me, because I understand there's a lot of falsehood out there. There's a lot of people that's trying to teach what I study. Not all information is good information. Not all information is necessary information. Like what I tell people, try to give you, like, you got some people that call themselves alchemists and all that stuff, and deep spiritualists, and they trying to get you to understand 369 and all this, the codes, and the damn, and understand the like even the chakra system is cool and it's real, and you know what I mean. You can see the shit in your spine, how it is. You know what I mean, and we proven this shit, but it's like you could also understand the chakra field without verbally understanding the chakra field. You can energetically understand it by just understanding the way of life, a way of being. It's just simple. You don't need all that other extra mechanics, and that's what I want to help people understand. You don't gotta be that deep. It's really that simple. It's just a lot of us are used to shit being so complex that it has to be complex, and if it's not complex, then it's like we feel like we're doing nothing, or it is nothing. You know what I mean? It's like the idea. It's just different, but this is like the idea. Similarly, like when you have people who will look at something with a high price, and then that similar thing with a lower price, and it'd be the same shit, but you want the thing with the higher price because you believe that shit's higher. It has to have more value. There has to be a reason. Well, nah, they just wanted to fuck with you. They just wanted to see what you'll do.
Right. We found that out with China during the whatever them tariffs and shit was. I know you on TikTok. Yeah, we seen how they doing that designer game, how they playing us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I wanted to ask you, just because, like I said, as I go down this rabbit hole, and I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, that you're kind of with the conscious movement. Kind of, I ain't gonna say you're the movement, but you're preaching be conscious, tune into your frequency, and a lot of people that are preaching that message seem to almost, I want to say, I don't know if you're familiar with this group. It almost gives me, you don't give me these vibes, but a lot of people do. They give me that It's almost the opposite. Like they be almost racist, just like white people. You know what I'm saying? They add the element of hate in with it, and I'm not on. I don't understand that. Do you feel like your message like keeps other races out of it, or is it to
I
incorporate
included
other races in it?
that's why if you notice in things what I was saying before when I mentioned COINTELPRO, I try not to use words like the white man or I try
Right.
not to I don't want to use that language because this right here is for all of humanity. Just in Barnes and Noble, I had a cool ass time learning a fucking card game that I would have never played in my life or ever do. But I was interested. I was like, let me see what's up. A bunch of white people and we had fun. It was cool. It was dope. So no, it's not, and I get that, and that's why there was a time where I was biased towards white people. That's why there was a time like people in 2016 was telling me, yo, you need to be speaking. They told me I should have been doing this. People way back there years ago told me I need to be doing this, but I didn't want to just jump on the bandwagon. Like this other
Right.
brother that came conscious with me, he was me and him was mad close and A&T and shit. But
Okay.
we came up with this idea for a group. But I allowed him to be the leader and the head hunter of that group. He wanted me to be right. He wanted me to be more on it than I was. But see, the thing is, and he got caught up in a lot of mess, especially with women and shit. Because I understand, I don't want to come out here and try to be a leader of the people, and I'm fucking up and I'm still learning shit. I ain't getting my shit together. I don't give a fuck what I know now. I don't give a fuck if you know me personally. You get the information. Like I've been collecting books for years, so it's only if you know me personally, you come to me and you ask me, then we can have those conversations. But I wasn't trying to get on here live and boom, boom, knowing I still got things I'm trying to sort out and figure out here. And I really didn't even understand the mechanics behind a lot of shit that we was talking about anyway. We were just dealing with pseudoscience and shit and just feel good conversations. Now, I mean, just the consciousness was the cool thing to do and chakras
Right.
and meditate, but we didn't really understand the mechanism behind it. I wasn't because I didn't have that. That there was some big people. Like I've met people who were doing a thing. Like this one shorty was like the hood. I forgot the hood consciously. She had this one name, but she was always going live and shit. And she even told me she was like, "Yo, you supposed to be doing what I'm doing, right?" But I just knew personally, I just wasn't ready because of that fact. Because of there's so many people who come out there unhealed, trying to heal other people. They're sick
Right.
themselves trying to heal you when they
Nah.
themselves have got open wounds.
Right. Now, I definitely glad to see somebody who, because I ain't gonna lie, like I said, I don't consider myself, I don't put myself in a box. You feel me?
Mm,
So I like to research. I like to know about things that I talk about, and I like to,
right.
just have an understanding of the world. I always been like that, and I feel like people more like you need to speak about it, bro, because it's relatable to a nigga like me who just did 10 years in prison. See, I
Uh,
don't want to see Mr. Bowtie, respectfully, I don't mean this to
right.
disrespect anybody. I don't want to see the bow tie in this guy because he preaching almost the same hate that we fighting against. You know what I'm saying? And I still want to hear the content information, but I'm very careful who I download it from, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I'm very because I don't want to receive the hate because I believe that's our biggest problem. I believe that our own genuine hate for each other and other people, we live it more than we even feel it, if that makes sense. We make sure we relive it every day. Somehow, some way, we'll find a way through social media, through way we speak, through our conversation. We'll continue to put that as in the forefront. When honestly, bro, it's in the back now because they're not worried about it, right? You know what I'm saying? So they're not worried about it at all. Doesn't stop their day. And guess what? Us complaining about it really doesn't help. It just makes, to me, it got to a point where I feel like it makes us look weak, if that makes
It
sense.
does. It
It
does.
makes us look very weak, complaining like, "Oh, look at all that these group of people have." Well,
Yeah.
guess what? Those group of people have the same blood that we have in our bodies, and I know that bad stuff has happened to us. And I'm not saying that doesn't hasn't happened, but it's happened to a lot of races, bro. Bad things wasn't we weren't the only group of people that bad things happened to. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right.
And
Exactly. And they don't even
we
look at
gotta
the
stop
Muslim slave trade. The Muslim slave trade was
bigger
more
than the
brutal
African
and
trade too.
longer than the fucking. Like, yo, we was
Yeah,
wilding. We was
yeah,
wilding
yes,
on
we
each
were.
other.
And we sold our own peoples out. A lot of times in history, we actually sold our own out, and it's sad to say, but if we only align ourselves with people of our own skin color, how far is it going to get us in this current state anyway? You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
As an overall, because you're going to need other people, but you need other platforms. You need other people to hear your voice other than just people of this color. You feel me? That's not going to do anything. That doesn't unify anything. It only continues to divide it. You
That's
know?
why I said the first step is accountability. The first step is acceptance. We have to accept the shit. Just like when I found out, like for a hot minute, bro, I'll keep it real with you. I looked at the Maroons as just the best group of people from in Jamaica, right?
Right.
Great people. They fought back the white slave trade. They fought the Europeans back and all that shit. When I did a little deeper research, I realized there was a treaty, and in that treaty there was some agreements for some exchanges and for some capturing. And I learned that they was out there capturing other black folks and sending them back to the white man for an exchange of some money. That even some white people documented that, yo, these niggas is actually doing too much. White motherfuckers say, yo, these niggas kind of wild, and son, these niggas just brutalize a whole town of these people. That's some wild shit. We ain't tell them to do all that shit, but okay. Like, you got white settlers, you got white explorers that was watching this shit and that reporting this shit, and it's documented. So that's what I'm saying. We have to get rid of the whole facade and the feel-good fantasy about ourselves, right? And accept who we are, accept our place in society and our place in history, and then let old bullshit go and figure out how we could unite as a people, as a people on this planet. Because at the end of the day, we are floating in space, my nigga. We are floating in space. Anytime an asteroid can hit us, anything could happen. We are on a planet that we need to sustain and need to have life, and we have all these natural disasters because why? We're not treating our climate right. Right? There's so much bullshit. You got mining factories in places where they shouldn't be, disrupting nature. Mad forest is getting fucked up. Water's getting polluted. There's so much going on that, and then, you know what I mean? It's just so much happening that we're not focused on, that the planet could just say fuck us. And fuck anything, all our beefs and all that shit. At that day, if you outside and there's some bullshit going on and you dangling somewhere and there's a white man's hand there, you ain't gonna take that white man's hand. He can lift
I feel like, bro, like I said, we put ourselves in this box. We're the human race, right? So why every time we looking up, you know, it seems like, because I have friends that are foreigners, they look at us and they'd be like, they call us Europeans, even though we're black, white, whatever. They don't separate and say that's African Americans, that's Chinese, or this, that, and the third. We're all Americans right now. We're fighting for, you know, I think people lost the idea that we're actually fighting to better us as a people versus the people who have had a stronghold on this thing. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna do all that right now.
No, exactly. We're in a better position, having a better fight and equipped with better tools.
Well, equip yourselves with the same tools they equip themselves with. Go to college, get your group of people educated to fulfill these positions in government, law, in hospitals, instead of, you know, constantly wanting to be an athlete. Shout out to athletes, but certain things that we continuously chase our whole lives for, instead of the foundation starts at the bottom. That's the law system, that's the health system, and that's the education system, right? So if we're not implementing ourselves in them three spots in masses, not one of us from the neighborhood's a doctor, two of us are nurses, and you know what I'm saying, shit like that. Our whole community actually decides we're going to push and implement ourselves in these different positions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's crazy to say we go from having a hand in inventing electricity and radio, peanut butter, you know what I mean, to now having the biggest hand in creating new TV shows. You know what I mean? Like, we could have, you know what I mean, let's go back, because we can be great. It's so much that we can do when we have our focus, because we create beautiful things. We create magic. It's just about where that magic is created and how it's created, right? The intention behind it, right? I feel you. Like, I say it all the time. Why are we all just want to be jesters? Why don't we have enough? Let a few people do their thing, but then what about the deep thinkers? What about the people that's going to rise up? Why are we looking at Elon Musk as, ooh, that's Iron Man? Why can't one of us be Iron Man? Like,
they can have Iron Man and we can have Iron Man. You know what I mean? That's
Black Panther was crazy with the technology too. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, like, let's actually do that rather than just dream about it.
Right, for sure.
You know what I mean? And brag about old days. Oh, Mansa Musa was one of the rich. We love to brag about what we did rather than what we're doing.
What we're doing now, right?
Back to the past, back in the day, old day. Oh, we did that. Did. We need to get rid of the did. Start doing. Right?
Yeah, no, 100%. with you, I'm just to switch gears a little bit. How does this work with you dating, bro? I know that having a strong message could affect your females and how they feel. I know you like talking about the ladies. Yeah, I see you see Bar bopping now. Yeah.
This is
What's
crazy.
your approach to dating look like with a
I'm gonna tell you
mindset
that.
like this, bro?
So
What's your
for
vision?
me, this is you're going to hear a whole different perspective. This is
Okay.
for me personally. I've had 5 relationships. My first big one was with my baby moms, right? I have 3 kids with her. So I have my children who are damn near about to go to college now.
Right.
Um, each relationship had its beautiful moments, had its ups and downs, but I feel like personally, I experienced enough to have satisfied me in that lane. Like the things that I was looking for, the things that I wanted and desired when it came to be having a romantic partner, those have all been fulfilled.
Mm.
So now with the dating scene, I'm just here and I've I've entertained the idea of connecting with others, but it's just I find myself not operating on that same frequency as a lot of these women. My last relationship ended due to a we had decided to part ways to embark on different things, and then there was a terrible accident that happened to her afterwards.
Mm.
It changed a lot of things. It was a big effect, right, on both of us. I even lost a lot of people at that time period, right?
Right.
And so that last relationship ended off with certain circumstances, but it was never like insecure. It was like somebody else or cheating, infidelity, none of that. I've had mad beautiful moments to where I really don't care to relive those moments. All the eating outs, the travels, the fun, the picnics, the boat rides, the amusement parks, the late nights, the movie nights, all these things. I don't care. So, and I look at it the way the dating scene is now, how it's so transactional and so just, I don't even know, right? It's just so let me mimic what I see online or TV or my favorite influencer. I am happy to have satisfied myself to where I don't even need to have pursued these women. That I've seen face to face that these women, they're different. Back then, I feel like if a woman don't like you, she'll let you know. If there's something that throw you off, she'll let you know. Now these women that just ghost you, they won't even say nothing. And then when you confront them about it, they be like, I don't know, it's nothing, it's nothing. They'll say it's nothing. There was nothing. So you don't even know what to do about it, right? It's a lot of confusion. Then you got those that have trauma, so they just automatically assume that you're someone like another man. Then you have those who don't like intellectual black men because I see that some of them. And my mom, she admitted, my mom is one because she says she likes men who are kind of dumb because she can control them as long as they have some money. As long as they have some money. I mean, that shows on
Mm.
Facebook. But like,
No, hey, I mean the
but
truth
that's a
ain't
real.
never, the truth is the truth.
But
I mean,
that's
I
real.
have my mama. My mama put me on game too. I'm my mama's boy. You know what I'm saying? She done put
Yeah,
me on game how it is with these dudes out here. Us
it's real.
included. Us
And a
included. You
lot of
know
these
what?
women, I'm not gonna hold you, bro. I've slept with several women that are in relationships. That's crazy. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I'm honest. I'm gonna be honest. I did 10 years in prison, right? And tell me if I'm wrong. Back in the day, if a woman cheated, it was like a secret taken to the grave. Now it's almost something to be bragged about. Where I got my sneaky link, I got this dude paying for my nails. That to me, that's the turn off, bro. I feel like why have we become as men where we're only valued by what we can provide, right? Like I'm not saying be a broke dude and don't hold the house down, but why are you judged from the day one of okay, if this dude's in a Lambo and he riding around with $100,000 worth of jewelry, he could still be the biggest piece of shit and a bad guy to date. I mean, that don't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean that he could be topped out. That could be his max. He could be maxed out in debt. He could be living paycheck to paycheck, making all that money and still have a bad system for himself and nothing, nowhere to go but stuck in that Lambo. And they'll see a brother or anyone of any race who's just working, trying to figure it out, but got a plan. And that dude is like, well, holler at me when you get your shit together. Well, he's not going to want you when he gets his shit together because guess what? You done discounted him because you went for, we like shiny things, it seems like, versus where we're willing to water a seed and let it grow. Like back in the day, like relationships. You watch people get together and make empires together. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Damn, remember when I found your daddy? He wasn't nothing but a broke 9-to-5 nigga. You know what I'm saying? Then next thing you know, they got their house, their credit established, their this, that. Now it's like a woman wants you to have all that to gain entry into the date. You know?
I
That's
see that. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that's because it's too many city girls and sexy reds. Everybody want to be like them instead of actually sitting down and a big thing, especially I'm 25, so a big thing I hear is what do you bring to the table when they can't even bring a folding chair? Bitch, I am the table. You see what I'm saying? Like, what do you bring to the table besides what's in between your legs?
Right.
Right,
It was
right.
a shift in consciousness, like you said, the sexy reds and all that, Megan Thee Stallions. It's because a shift in consciousness happening, and it started with the music. No, it started with the reality shows. They were implementing it slowly with Love and Hip Hop. Then they started shifting the direction in the music, because before that we had some love shit. Before that, the new shit with the Migos and everything like that. Before that was a lot of dancing. We was dancing a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Stanky
yeah,
leg, and you know what I mean?
yeah,
The two,
yeah.
all that shit. We was having fun. We was dancing. And right before that, you had the love songs. You had Tyrese and all that other shit. So we had that energy, and that's thankfully, like I said, I feel bad for the 25-year-old brothers, because it's a different realm for you. Because when I was dating, it was like my aura was able to pull. I remember my man was like, you got to pay for him, have money for him. I said, no, you don't. I mean, if that's what you believe, then you do. But when I'm from, you didn't. You just had to have that aura, that energy, and you know what I mean. Your talk game and everything like that. It was you.
Right,
It's what
right.
got that right. So, but I think that a lot of people, unfortunately, a lot of those situations wasn't good situations, because a lot of those girls now grew up in homes where they mama did give a man a chance, but that nigga ended up just being a bum or an abuser and stuff like that. So a lot of girls are saying, I'm not trying to be like my mama or my auntie.
Oh, for
You know what I
sure.
mean? So they're
For
trying to
sure.
shift in that shit and take more control. They're trying to, and this is a seed that's been planted decades ago from the feminist movement. How
Right.
black women got involved, beyond me. But you know what I mean? It was, it started with the seed planted with the feminist woman. Then when our women got involved in that shit, they just shift the whole game with it, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
now it's flipped, and like you said, now it's about what do you have, how much do you have, what can you produce right now. It sucks, because it's how do you
Or
get
even
this
worse.
that love, that
So
Or
romantic. So
even
right,
worse, you hear this. Like I said, I see women that say, because I look this way, a man's supposed to provide my lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Well, we look. What about our looks? Aren't you with us
right,
for? Aren't you with us for a dual attraction? I would like to live off my looks too, but life don't do that for you. You know, and I think that mixed with easy to access. Back in my day, you had to find a girl at the mall. You had to find a girl out at the, you didn't just wake up or roll over in bed and say, let me holler at 20 girls right now and see who say something. You know?
right. Nah. It was more. It meant something. It made you feel like that Love Jones movie. You know what I mean? Like you go out there and just, you know what I mean? It was spontaneous. You know what I mean? It
Right.
was really dope. And your situation was your situation. It wasn't broadcasted for the world to see, or you didn't feel like I need to do this just to have a certain image so people could like it and see, look what I got.
I think honestly, bro, like you
Right.
talk a lot about, frequencies and things like that. Just from hearing this conversation, bro, it's like what's your thoughts on specifically our women, black women? Why do you think it's such a big deal about, us dating outside of our race, us as men dating outside of our race, and venturing off, but they can go mess around with little Tommy because, his family run a Fortune 500 company and their excuse is, oh, I'm only with him to finesse him. But if we get caught with a white woman, we looked at like a piece of shit that don't love our black queens. You know what I'm saying? So what's your thoughts on that?
What I learned is that it doesn't even stop there. That many of them have this innate issue with a black man able to do what they can do. There was a black woman that looked at my book and she said, "Damn, I would have thought a woman wrote this." Say what? They don't expect us to do the things that they can do, or like know about tarot and all that stuff. There's things that I know that I've seen black women, have heard, had black women tell me. oh, that's something that women usually do. How do you know that? They don't expect that, and it kind of pushes them off rather than seeing a partner in that thing. So it's this problem with seeing us being able to do the things that they can get away with. It's like the whole, even with the sassy now, I'm not saying sassy is right, but they like, we're supposed to be that way. You're not supposed to talk back to us. We're supposed to be doing all the talking. You're supposed to just take it. You're not supposed to be knowing this and that and that. You're not supposed to know what it means to, because one person the other day tried to tell me that I was gaslighting them. And I'm like, no, I actually know what the definition of gaslighting is. You're just trying to throw in a term because it sounds good and you heard other people say it and you think it applies here. But it actually doesn't apply here. And the way I broke it down, she was just quiet. Fucking quiet. And they don't like that, because they're used to having that upper hand. Because when they get the black with the white man, now they have the upper hand. They have that lifestyle that they could flaunt, and they want to look at you, be like, ha ha, look what I got, look what he can do, but you can't. But then when you get it with a white woman and be like, ha, but the issue is, it's the ha ha. That's the part. It's the ha. Like both sides, that gotta stop, right? But it's the nitpicking. It's the back and forth. It's the, now look what I got my white woman in there, because, you know, my black woman, they wasn't appreciating me. Honestly, I feel like, you know what I mean? But how real it may be, I think we need to just do things and just do it, and do it in silence, you know what I mean? Rather than just boast or brag about it, or just because it's only going to just keep the insane narrative going and the headache conversations, you know what I mean? And the separation and division. I feel like, date who you want to date, love who you want to love. You know what I mean? For a long time, I was against dating any other race. Just personally, I didn't hate them. I just personally wanted to date my black women. However, I have 3 black children. So if I decide to do that, I already have my black lineage. I'm not going against creating a black lineage. I'm not trying to stop it. I already have 3 possible more outcomes going out there on the line. So, you know what I mean? At this stage, I can. I won't see why not. And I dare motherfucker try to say something about it, because that won't turn well.
Yeah, it's bro, it's big in our generation. You know, just like I said, piggybacking off of what you and Cash were talking about. I'm seeing it from a whole younger generation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see us, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I'm not gonna waste my time with them, bro. Like, I'm not. Like, I'm cool off of them. Just because I see, like, internet got them in a chokehold, bro. Like, if the city girls came out today and said, hey, y'all need to cook, clean, rub that man back, hold him down till he come up, you'll see a whole change in the universe. Not everybody gonna want to do the wifely things. But then if they get on there a week later and say, fuck these niggas, go out there and get what you can and finesse, a week later it's gonna be a change in the world. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like our generation is kind of fucked
I'm
when
gonna
it
give you
come to that.
advice. I'm gonna tell you something that's real, and I'm gonna tell you this because I really don't care the pushback that I might get, because I don't seek to have another relationship. Anyway, I don't care if it happens. It happens. I don't care. I'm satisfied. So I'm gonna give you this real, raw, fucking advice. I do believe you should leave them alone, because they're in a place of carrying so much trauma that it is very detrimental to the black man to be dealing with them at this time. We need to tap into our inner consciousness and our inner God. We need to tap in and get ourselves back right and get realigned so we can become the conquerors that we once were, that who we truly are. We have to be great, because there's so much that could be done and so much that we can have. It's like our universe, our earth depends on it. Our bloodline depends on it. Right? At the end of the day, is war coming? Are you going to send her out with the swords, or are you going out there? But if you're going to go out there, how are you going to go out there and assure your victory without being properly equipped, when you've just been dealing with this, you know what I mean, this whole time, and being stressed out and worrying about how you're going to please her and satisfy her, and your ass getting fat and unhealthy and just unable and incapable, right? We have to focus. Unfortunately, and I hate it, we don't have the Asada Shakurs, Angela Davis, Sister Soldiers, right? That was a different time period and different energy, where a black woman was right there and ready to be allowed with. As a time period where if I would have brought my notebook out, my book of conscious notes and all that shit, she would have been right there with me. You know what attracted me with my ex? She had a book just like mine, doing her thing. We used to do that together. But this shift in consciousness happened, and there's something new. Now almost everyone has an OnlyFans. Everyone's a sex model. Now it's about, I got all these DMs, so why should I fuck with you? And while they fucking with you, they texting someone else. They got to make another plan for the next day or the later night. Or they going out to the clubs and seeing who nigga is gullible to pay for my meals or pay for my drinks. So
Now, And tell me if I'm wrong, because both of y'all older. You know what I'm saying? Like, my pop, she used to tell me all the time, look at her mama, and that'll tell you what type of woman she gonna be. Is that kind of the same and with y'all generation? You know what I'm saying? Like, cause he tell me that a lot. You feel me? Like, bro, you see her mama, she loud, ghetto, ignorant, and you feel me?
Well,
Like,
my mom is the reason why I haven't dated Puerto Ricans. My mom's Puerto Rican. She's the reason I've stayed away from Hispanic women, so that could have some truth to it. Because naturally, I haven't dated a Hispanic woman for real, because I think subconsciously I just see my mom, and I've known the things that my mom has been able to do, especially as a woman. My mom is one of the greatest manipulators I've ever known on this planet, on the history of time. She's just not documented. Like, she is ill. The way she is able to manipulate someone else's mind to believe something, the way she's able to formulate tears from her face out of thin air, from nothing, and just make you feel bad for her. The way she could twist stories, the way she long talks, it's just all in that scheme. Yeah, it's like, ooh, and a lot of them do that. A lot
just
of them.
to play devil's advocate a little bit, bro, I'm gonna be honest. I think it's American women of color. I don't really think it's because I see other women of color come over here, and bro, they don't even like us. You get me? If we're acting a certain way, they're like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? I'm good off you, and they might like your physical, but they honestly they see a lot of our customs of, like, just like you said, dysfunctional comfort, or dysfunctional actions day to day. I don't think it's more so like because it's black women in general or women of color in general, just necessarily us, our American women at this point in time where we're at. You know what I'm saying? It's just too easy to. They're in their masculine era. You know what I'm saying? Women they got tired of getting burnt out by us, so now they're on their get back season. Get me?
Only thing I could say is, I agree with you, but then I had a remembrance about Jamaican women. And in Jamaica, there's a lot of men that could be on this podcast with us saying the same shit.
Oh yeah, I'm familiar.
Oh man, I think it really depends on what side of the world you're in and what teaching you're getting. Because I think on the eastern part of the world, there's a different spiritual understanding, and it's different kind of. They have a more so of a spiritual foundation rather than the theatrical religious foundation that we have. That
Right.
It's just a different way of consciousness, different way of thinking on the eastern side of the world. But oh man, there's several places where it's
Yeah.
hectic. But he's right. He's right.
Yeah, no,
Though.
I definitely say
right.
I just feel like in general our women have gotten a little
Of course.
Yeah, I think honestly, bro, like how I see it, even at 25, bro, like I feel like a lot of other races, they're taught to be wives. Our race of people are taught to be survivors. Women, speaking of women, they're taught to be survivors versus other races. They want to be wives. They want to build the houses. They want to, have the white picket fence and the kids and, holding it down, whatever. And our women is so used to just being baby mamas and, loud and ignorant. And I think that's what it is, bro. Like our parents are so young that really most of them weren't never wives. So how
right.
can somebody in the past two generations that's never been wives teach their daughters who's 25 and under to be wives? You know what I'm saying?
I gotta say something though. I do have to say something. This
Like,
is
am I tripping?
Right.
only to an extent. Only
Go
to an
ahead, bro.
extent. I'm gonna say why. Because you have on certain parts of the world you have subjugation where some women born as you could say in a way of servitude to just have to be wives, and like Arabia, right, where they don't really have any privileges. So it's like they made the idea of them raised up to be wives, yes, but it comes at a cost that's
Right.
really not comfortable for them. With our women here, even though I don't agree with a lot of things that they're doing, when you look at the background, they did come from a lot of survival shit. They really, at the end of the day, yes, they made the decision to get help from the government at the expense of the men being in the house. But did they really have a choice? And when you look at the way society was set up, where we wasn't capable, because we was dealing with our own battles that a lot of us wasn't able to take care of the home, which left the woman alone. Because a lot of us ended up get locked up and snatched up due to unfair laws or being killed, killed off, through injustice. And that left a lot of our women alone. and they had to do what they had to do. So a lot of our women's foundation is survival, right? It's just that we wasn't trained when we became conscious. We had a period where we could have fixed everything. When the Black Panther movement had hit and everything like that, Noble Drew Ali came in the scene and stuff like that, right? We had a time, even in the beginning of hip hop, when it was the voice of our people just seeking justice and speaking our, talking about our pain and getting people to hear us, right? Right, and expressing our art, expressing our freedom. We had a chance to change it, but it was just what happened to crack came, drugs came, money came. We got willed in, just like how they did to our ancestors, but it came with the jewels and shit. Be like, hey, you know, hey, take this. And we looking at it, we love shiny things. That has been our issue. We love shiny things, and then when we got caught up in the drugs, a lot of shit just got more fucked up, and then that created a domino effect to where women put in survival. We battling our own demons. Now we're battling each other's demons because nobody's helping us. You got the church coming in trying to help us, but they're just saying go to Jesus. They're not applying no real remedy. We had a long history of not going to therapy because it was just a white people's thing. So we just been sitting and harboring sickness and illness just through centuries of time and passing on to our children. We abused our children just like how they abused us through slavery because we was taught to use whips instead of being able to communicate. So they knew how to communicate. They understood the consciousness, but they didn't teach us that level. They just taught us abuse and servitude. So then we applied that to our children, which created more trauma, created more pain, and that just kept having a ripple effect. So it's this, the foundation is really fucked up to how we got here. However, we do have situations, and I think now is the most, is out of all eras we've ever had, now is the time to really, like, yes, we can't be accountable because we have too much access. We had so many conversations, we've seen so much shit. Before, it's like, well, you just trip a little bit, or you don't know it's saying, okay, you messing up, we get it. We just came out of slavery and all this other shit and having to do separation, all this shit. Our leaders dying, Malcolm, Dr. King. Okay, we had to heal up from that. It's been long done. We've had the conversations. We have things like the docu-series. I forgot the name of it. It's crazy. Roots. No, not Roots, but then we had the other shit that taught about our history. Hidden Colors. That's what I'm thinking about. We had Hidden Colors that taught us everything. And now we have technology like ChatGPT where we could find out so much shit even more. So now we can have accountability. Now it's like, okay, we need to fix shit and we can't fix shit. What are we going to do? Are we going to continue the bullshit? Or are we going to like get on some real shit, higher concepts?
It's crazy that you say that. Me and Cash was just having a similar conversation about, our people and things that's still holding them back. I mean, this might be an unpopular opinion. Cancel me. I could care less. I'm still getting paid. But I feel like I wasn't a slave. My mom wasn't a slave. My grandma wasn't a slave.
Right.
And I'm like 99% sure my great grandma wasn't a slave. So what that mean? That mean that's 4 generations I just named that figured it the fuck out and made a way. You niggas shouldn't. I'm sorry, a great grandma shouldn't have been on Section 8. Then the daughter on Section 8, grandma on Section 8, then the kid on Section 8, and then all the other kids under them on Section 8. Who gonna fucking make a way? Y'all ain't tired of. Like I told bro, like, again, this might be an unpopular opinion. Cancel me, I could care less. I say the reason why why all the black people want to vote for the Democrats, if the Democrats came up here and said, we gonna give niggas free Wi-Fi, we gonna give y'all a lifetime Section 8 voucher, and we gonna give everybody in the household $1,000 worth of food stamps a month, they gonna have the next 19 generations voting for them, bro. Mm-hmm. But soon as somebody come in and say, listen, we gonna give y'all the resources, but y'all gotta get off y'all ass and show us that y'all want it. Now all of a sudden you calling the man racist. Right. You see what I'm saying? All of a sudden he don't like niggas and he done did all of this. But again, you take the time to realize who's endorsing these people, like Trump. Okay, how can you say he's racist and the NAACP endorses this man every time he does anything? So if he's racist, the NAACP is racist. You know how crazy that sound coming out my mouth? The NAACP is racist? Right. Like, again, like I told him, everybody loved to celebrate Martin Luther King. He cheated on his wife with a white woman. I walk in the mall with a white woman. I walk through the mall with a white woman. I'm an ignorant nigga. But you love Martin Luther King. As when are we gonna
break the cycles? It's the spell work, brother. Look, you love Good Times. Remember Good Times? We all remember Good Times,
Yeah, I know
right?
Good Times. I remember
I'm
The
too
Dynamite.
young
lyrics.
for
Dynamite.
that. I'm too young for that.
The
Yeah.
lyrics, though.
I'm
The lyrics. Keeping your head above water.
water.
Making a
Yep.
wave when you can. Temporary layoffs. Good times. Easy credit ripoffs. Good times. Scratching and surviving. Good times. Hanging in and jobbing. Good times. Ain't we lucky we got them? Good times. That sounds like a whole bunch of misery right there.
Oh yeah,
Hey.
we've become our misery, bro. We've become, but like this. Instead of putting, I call it putting your boots on, putting your cleats on, and getting on the field and getting in the mud. We've decided to do the easy route for so long, bro. It's almost like basically we're addicted to government assistance. Does that make sense? We become
Yeah.
as a whole group of people. We become addicted instead of saying like let's live on our terms. Let's break this. Let's go ahead and get in the mud like the Mexicans who come over here and live 5 and 6 in a house, and then next thing you know, all three of them have houses. Let's do what we gotta do. You know what I'm saying? Don't fuck what we want to do. Let's do the shit we got to fucking do. We gotta live 8 on top of each other, 10 on top of each other. We gotta live in a tent outside until we can get to where we're on solid foundation. You know what I'm saying? We just got accustomed to where like everything is wanting the government assistance and just is in general. And I'm not, I can't even vote, so I just hate when we it's the easy way out to associate something you don't like with race. You get what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Like
it is.
you don't like it, so you're gonna say, oh, it's this. Well, guess what, man? If it is that, complaining is not gonna do nothing about it. Find an understanding for it and find a way around that motherfucker. You feel me? Find the understanding for that shit instead of sitting there. Oh, Donald Trump taking the food stamps. Okay, well, find out what you got to do so you can eat every fucking day. Then that's what you need to figure out. Fuck what he took. Fuck what he took.
Bro. Or nah, what they gonna do is they gonna go in the streets and fucking burn down buildings. Oh, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. No, get off your lazy ass and go get a fucking job. I
Community
You
personally
do
feel
what you
gardens.
got to do.
like Section 8 vouchers need to last per presidential term. If you can't figure it out in 4 years, you were never gonna figure it out anyway. Fi- Now you out on the street,
I was
nigga.
gonna figure it out anyway.
You see what I'm saying though? Like, bro, niggas quick to go protest and then go back to 17 motherfuckers living in the house. Everybody got food stamps, lying on applications and shit. But don't nobody want to get a job. Lil Day get locked up. Now everybody want to go fund me. Fuck Day. You see what I'm saying though? Like real deal, bro. I just did I not tell you earlier, Cash? When I make it, I'm not giving shit back to niggas. Fuck them. Cause guess what? If roles were switched, they wouldn't give shit back to me.
Yeah, but
They would
I
say
always
fuck
tell you
me.
that's where me and him gonna always butt heads. Cause if
Man,
we all do
fuck
that,
niggas.
if we do all do that, then where that's gonna leave us, bro? If we all, you get what I'm saying? Like my whole
Where it's
thing
gonna
is,
leave you? I'm
nah, I
25, my
understand
nigga.
that. I understand that, but put like this, it's like generational, right? We take because we speaking on generations today. If my son watches me do that to the people that look like me, what is he gonna do to the people that look like him that are good people that might genuinely benefit from his energy and being around them?
But see,
You know
that's
what
what
I'm
we
saying?
on two different accords. I'm talking about niggas. You're talking about black people. Those are
Oh,
two
okay.
different
I get what
people.
you're saying.
Those
You're
are two
saying
different
the
people.
low vibrational. All right, for sake of conversation,
Yeah.
the low
Niggas, I'm
vibrational
not
people.
giving
I get
back
what you're
to
saying.
niggas, bro. Cause
Yeah, I got you.
everybody right now, you know, they say they stuck in a situation, whatever. I can say, you know what? I'm gonna give you 10,000 right now. What will you do with that 10,000? Guess what? Everybody in that house gonna be high as fuck with Jordans on.
Yeah, a lot of them.
But I'm gonna let you talk. Go ahead.
What
Okay.
I look at it as, because I'm glad you pointed that out, because I was going to ask you if that's what you mean. Because when I caught that, when you said that, I'm like, he might mean a separation. But it's like this. Imagine if you had a crackhead uncle, right? And a guy that kept, he always kept robbing and everything. Every time y'all try to give him a chance, you tell him he can live with you, right? He said he's going to change, but he doesn't change. He even put on money in his pocket and everything. First time you had to sell your car, right? So you had to go without a car. The next time you come in, you had to sell a wedding ring because he fucked up. He done did some shit that you got to get him out of. The third time, you might have to put up your house. How many times are you going to allow yourself to help people who don't want to help themselves at the detrimental of your own life? Right? It has to be a point where we have to let people do what they want to do and let them be. It doesn't make you bad. It doesn't make you negative. It's
Mm-mm.
actually beneficial because now you get to shift your direction to where that help or your assistant, your energy is more, you know what I mean, more abundant. And it's going to create something that'll be more beautiful because there's so many people that are wasting their essence with other individuals who are draining it and doing nothing with it. Well, they could be put in other places or connecting with other people and actually create something beautiful, actually be useful, actually, you know how many people who are stuck and don't even know what they're passionate about, don't know what they're good at, because they just never been put in a position where they could find it out or actually been able to sit down long enough, sit still in silence long enough where they can meditate and receive that information, or just nobody ever even asked them, right? So it's about just taking ourselves away from trying to be a martyr. We don't want to be martyrs anymore because what has that done?
No, I
What
feel
has
you.
it
No, I
done?
feel you. No, that's a great break. That's a great breakdown. Like I said, that's something that I got to work on as a person, helping the right people. You feel me? Like, not just helping because it's a familiar face. Let me say that. Not just helping the people that are familiar to me. You feel me? And necessarily helping the people that could have a dual benefit. You feel me? Help those who can help me, basically. You feel me? Or at least help me flourish in whatever field I'm in. So,
Right.
like, I definitely get it. He's younger than me and he kind of stern on it. So, hopefully it'll rub off on me, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I'll get
Yeah, I
more.
mean, bro. At the end of the day, like I said, both of our baby boys the same age, bro. You
Yeah.
feel me? I don't want my son growing up looking like you got to think, bro. Look at where I'm from, bro. You see what I'm saying? I don't want my son growing up the same way I'm thinking. Like, damn, if I blow up, I gotta bring 900 niggas with me. Hell no, because guess what? When you sit down in front of that table, like, okay, it's time for me to commit to a school. Guess what? I committed, went to college, played a whole year, 4 hours away from my hometown, right?
Mm-hmm.
Guess how many people came to see me when I was in college?
Yeah, next to none. Yeah.
I transferred schools even closer. Whole hood. Oh man, you closer, bro. We coming to everything. Oh, look at Auntie Baby. We coming to everything. Oh, guess how many came?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, let's say if I would have pursued my dreams and went to the league, I'm supposed to look out for everybody that couldn't come 2 hours away, or even send
Great
me a
point.
text. Hey, are you alive while you're in college? You see what I'm
Nah, great
saying?
point.
I don't want my son to go through that. At the end of the day, when they come to pick you, they're coming to pick you. You're gonna lose opportunities trying to be Superman and put everybody on your back.
I think I lost, bro. I think we lost him a little bit. You can still hear
Yo,
me,
Oh, I
right?
got him. I see him. I see both of them.
yo,
I can hear
Okay.
him. I can hear him. I heard him.
I
I
can't
yeah,
think.
hear him though.
Oh,
He
you
got
can't
a
hear
little.
him?
I
Oh,
can't
you,
hear him at the moment.
oh,
yo,
So
yo,
let's see if we get him
yeah,
back. I
yo.
can't hear him.
yeah. He's
But
talking. I just probably you just gotta write the connection and load up on your end.
yeah,
I hear him.
I'm trying to let it catch up. I don't want to,
Yeah.
discredit his thought. I don't want to discredit his thought. So
Yo,
let me get a second to see what's. I don't know why. Sometimes, like I said, sometimes these things is a little bit. We have a couple little difficulties. You say you can hear him though.
Yeah, I can see both of y'all clearly and hear y'all.
Oh, I don't know why it's weird.
I
Let me
can
see.
hear him too. I don't know what it is.
Oh, you can. Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear bro. I don't.
I'm going to see.
I'm gonna pop out and pop back in. Give me a
Okay.
second.
All right, right.
Yeah, bro. You got a lot of different viewpoints on things, bro. I like how you think, bro. I
Appreciate
like.
that. I feel like I understand. It's like I get this. I don't want to spook you or anything, but it's like I be getting this intuition about people, especially based off a lot of things that they say. And
Yeah.
with you, it's like I could see the alignment. It's like you're meant to understand and show that you could create family outside of whatever we call a blood family or whatever we think a traditional family. That you're a part of that great mission of expanding and uniting humanity. That is
Right.
that everybody plays a little small part in it. When you connect with people outside of you, you expand, right? You expand the universal field, you expand the possibilities, right? You show,
Right.
like you say, you want your son to see something different. You want your son to see he doesn't have to be limited or to a certain way of thinking. That is this way, that way, this way, right? That it's safe to go out there, it's safe to expand. And that's something that's very important because a lot of us have been just stuck. It's just
Yeah.
stuck in this way of being, stuck in this idea about who we are and what way we're supposed to be, even with hip hop. I've even been guilty of it. before, thinking that there's a certain way you gotta rap, or it just gotta be boom bap, it gotta be gritty. That's how it is. That's hip hop. When that's not true. Hip hop is an expression of art, and it could be done in many forms, right? And it's
Exactly.
just a
Right, for
way of
sure.
you know what I mean. So it's just that, and being able to express and then expand and connect, you know what I mean, universally, you know what I mean, so we can have a bigger consciousness. Because that right there, like I said, there's so many people playing that part. To eventually we just come together naturally, right? We
Right.
Right.
understand we in a big planet, but it can be a really small world when we
Oh, for
expand.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
your
definitely.
reality ain't as big as the world, if that, you know what I mean, at all.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
just to switch, let us know, give us a rundown about the book. Like, what made you write it? If somebody doesn't know you and doesn't never heard of you, what is the book about? What does it? What's the purpose? And like I said, just give us an overall over where we can find it as well.
Right. So honestly, like I said, like I showed you, like all these, like this right here, book of notes and shit right here. I've had a lot of these over the years, describing things, and just been from my thoughts, from meditations, from observations. Like sometimes I remember I would go, and I'll be over there at UNCG campus, and I'll sit down. This is years ago, and I'll just think, and I'm watching people, and I'll just ideas will come to me, which is download, right? People call them downloads. So I'll have a lot of moments where I've been sitting still. You know what I mean? Went to the Buddhist temples, right? I used to go to certain Christian retreats, and I'll leave off. Like the last one we went on was at a spot called Black Mountain. I climbed the mountain. I'm meditating on top of the mountain just to I could absorb information, and this information that I get, I transcribe it in notes. So then I got into life and health coaching, started learning about how like different stresses affect the body and could create illnesses, right? How our body gets into his fight or flight responses, right? So it makes us open to different various diseases, right? Sicknesses, headaches, and what cause these different emotional states. So I'm like, okay. Then I'm looking into Hermeticism, right? And I'm looking into the Kabbalion, different books, different ideas explaining the nature of reality, how this shit works. Because something I've always been inspired to understand was, okay, you got spirituality, you got consciousness, law of attraction, the law of cause and effect, the law of polarity, the law of mentalism. What makes it work, and how is our bodies actually electric? If you're telling our bodies electric, and this shit is magnet, right? We pull things. So I wanted to understand how this shit works. So it's just been deep studies, and I wanted to put things in a way where people could understand it without having to like scratch their heads too much, right?
Got you.
That's why my book is called Reaching the Seven Frequency Gates. But in the preface, I break down why all that shit works. I break down how the heart is an energy transmitter, the electric field around the heart, the trapezoidal field that's around the earth and around our body, right? About energy field, about how the brain works. So I speak about this, and I speak about the foundation of Hermeticism just to get you prepared, right? And then further on, I just start talking about ways of being within your life, doing having certain examples. Like one example I'm talking about, like you find out that the person you've been dating in college is sleeping with somebody else, right? Shit, you like, I want to crash out, you know what I mean? Or I'm like, I'm about to go into deep depression. Like there's different things that happen, right? How many people have gone to jail over situations like this, or killed themselves over like this, or get into deep depression over things like this? So I'm showing people a healthier way to deal with these things, a healthier way to organize your reality, to shift your reality to your preferred reality, so you can have your preferred experiences, right? And I'm explaining how the mechanism works and the ways it can work and the ways you can implement it without having to buy these different tools, without doing different rituals. You know what I mean? Anybody could read this shit and understand it. This is meant for us to just grasp this shit rather than like, because a lot of times, a lot like you see all these books
Right.
that you don't. I don't want you to have to do all of this. I want you to have one book, one of five
Got you.
books, and be good, right?
Got you.
You know what I mean? So
Got you.
that I try my best to compact it to where, you know, people will understand and literally finally get it, how law of attraction works, how law of manifestation works, how law of cause and effects works, why it works, how are we electric, how does it work to attract
Give
things
us
in
a
our life.
light breakdown of manifesting is a buzzword. So
Right.
it's like a hot topic right now. So give us an example of how it works and how it doesn't work, just for the people that don't know, could kind of want to get into your book. Like I noticed that might be something that's easier relatable, manifesting, right? Give us
Right.
a little rundown about, just a 101, a little for dummies, you know what I mean?
I got you. Yeah. So basically, manifesting is basically putting things into your reality, like your mind. Think of a projector screen, right? and you know how you turn on projector and you can see things, right?
Right.
So we are able to interact with this quantum field that's around us, which Max Planck, old physicist, has discovered that this matter, what we think is matter, is not actual matter. It's a force. It's an energy force, and that force is occupied by consciousness. If we are magnets and we could attract things in our heart, scientists have found that our hearts emanates an electrical field out of it, which interacts with the etherical field that we don't see, right? So we're just playing this push and pull, and we're bringing things either to us or away from us. If you ever went into a room and you felt like the vibes was off or the vibes were good, that's
Right.
your electrical signal speaking to you. So that's
Gotcha.
literally what's going on, right? Or you be like, oh, I knew that was going to happen. That's you pulling in that information. It's just going from looking at it as coincidence to understanding that it can happen, it will happen, and so you know when it happens, and you know how to pick up on it, and you be able to better navigate it like a GPS system,
Gotcha.
right?
Gotcha.
So it's basically like they say in the Bible, as above, so below. What you experience, but this guy named Daryl Anka like to say, you cannot experience what you're not the reality of, what you're not the energy of, what you're not the frequency of, right? So anything that you experience, you are that. That's why if you notice a lot of people that gossip are with other people who gossip. They're naturally connected with those people. People who do things like rob and steal are naturally connected with other people. Like-minded attract like minds. So this is where you can see the evidence of this, right? So it's basically focusing and having an attention every day of what kind of reality you want, what kind of experience you have. You can't say, oh, I expect abundance and I'm financially free and I get money, but then when a bill pops up, you're hesitating. Or when something comes up that you want to buy, you have limited thoughts. So you're thinking, that right there blocks the field. It's an interference, right?
Gotcha.
It's like you're driving, it's like you got a radio station and you ever drive around and all of a sudden you lose that channel. It's like it turns into something else. Yeah, because you enter out of that frequency range. So when that happens,
actions, there's not to cut you off. So your actions almost have to be aligned with what you're mentally trying to envision, for sure. It
yeah,
can't
you
just be
can't
a
just think it.
talk. It can't just be a
No,
talk.
no, you have to embody this. It has to work. And that's also why I didn't want to start speaking about this stuff until I knew I was fully embodying it. Regardless if I had the knowledge of it, the knowledge is bullshit. Honestly, once you get
Without
the
action,
remedy of it, once you get the remedy of it, you don't even need the shit no more. You just start becoming it. You are
got
it,
you.
right? You know what I mean? To where it's like you don't even have to say anything to nobody. They could just watch you and see how you move. Like they love Jesus. Like Jesus used to say, the way, I am the way. Just do as I do. He was just embodying who he said he was, and he was just telling everybody, all you got to do is do the same for yourself, and you can do the same shit that I'm doing. You know what I mean? So it's basically that I'm showing people how they can really become their own Christ in their own life.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And take more control.
I understand. Now, I did 10 years in prison. I done read a lot about all this shit. I just wanted to, for people that are, if you hear me ask questions repeatedly, so that people who ain't as knowledgeable about it can kind of download that bitch. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, that's all. Because I know, put like this, knowing what you're talking about, some people would like, it's intimidating. Does that make sense? You're talking frequency, you're talking chakra, you're talking, when really it's to me, street terms is, nigga, you need to be the same way you thinking in your head. You need to be moving when you on this fucking ground. You know what I'm saying? You can't be $1 million dreaming and then you out here living a $2, work ethic, a 2-hour work ethic. You're being lazy. You're consuming bad and negative shit all day, but you want to be righteous. You know what I'm saying? So, like you say, it's just about really being boots on ground as a man, human, and kind of just embracing whatever it is your cause is. You know what I mean?
And whatever you expect to happen will happen. If you expect for men or women, like for women, if you expect niggas to not be shit and niggas be a certain way, you're going to keep experiencing that. You know what I mean? And for us men, if we just expect these women to be a certain way, we're going to keep experiencing that. We're going to keep experiencing what we expect and what we are used to and comfortable with. That we could just go from understanding that exists, but that just exists in a certain frequency. That just exists in a certain part of reality that I don't have to have any association with. I don't have to go to the same places as those people. Even if I do, I know how to dissociate myself from the way of that they're thinking or where they're being manipulated and controlled, and just still be myself, my own person, rather than trying to put on the mask or put on whatever I need to, for whatever any audience. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Got you. Tell us before we roll out. Tell us a little bit where they can find the book, the music, the socials, and the shout out to anybody you want to shout out, bro.
Yeah, you can hit me on Without the Mask on Instagram, TikTok is Nuri Unchained. I know TikTok is Energy of Light. Instagram is Without the Mask and also Nuri Unchained. But each of those platforms, you could look at the bio. There's links in the bio, both for my music and the book. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody out there, man. Shout out to humanity. Shout out to, you know what I mean, the bullies. Shout out to the admin Cash. I want to say your name, Golden Tick Bullies, right?
I mean Cash. I
Yeah.
mean Cash. Yeah, I
I
mean.
mean,
Yeah, there
Cash.
you
Now, I
go.
mean, shout out to y'all. Shout out to my mom. Shout out to the family. Shout out to my kids. And I mean, shout out to everybody out there that's pushing consciousness and pushing the movement. Definitely shout out to Coco. You know what I mean? For even like, shout out to her because even what she's doing with networking and bringing people together, like this is how I
We got
found you.
together.
This is
Right, and that's
beautiful,
what I was
right?
telling
So,
bruh. Yeah, big shout out to Coco. I hope to
yeah,
get down there to just make content with y'all, bruh. I
right.
talked to Pressure Promotions Hollywood Cole today. She was trying to get up with you, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to Cole, definitely. I think we lost him.
I don't
Yeah, yeah, you breaking
know
up a
if you
little
know
bit,
her.
Rusty.
Some she
Yeah, it's going in and out, bro.
Yeah, Cash, you going in and out, bro.
she in the content group too, talking about, just all of us kind of, yeah. Oh, you lost me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you cutting out. You cutting out.
Hold up, bro. I'm trying to, let me get, yeah, I'm back now. I can see y'all. I'm back.
yeah. I see you.
Yeah. So
Go.
we got different messages, bro. I feel like it's better when we're all kind of pushing the algorithm down just to get people who want to receive it and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what this whole platform's about, bro. So you're more than
Right.
welcome, man. When you got something going on, to come back up here, bro, and chop it up
Appreciate
with us,
that.
bro. You know what I mean?
Bro, appreciate you, man. Definitely, I
Yeah. So
appreciate this
appreciate everybody
space.
tapping in.
Much love to y'all, brothers.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Like
Let me hit the
that.
end of the live button. Stick around for a second, bro. Appreciate y'all tapping in, everybody, man. Keep tapping in with us, and go follow, bro, all over all them platforms, please.
All right.